Hello everyone, I'm Prosper Mayor David Bristol, and I'm bringing you the next episode in our America 250 series in celebration of America's 250th birthday. So we're making it a community celebration that will culminate in our Pride in the Sky event at Frontier Park on July the 2nd. So every week we're bringing you another important event in the founding of the greatest country in the world. We want to celebrate by remembering exactly how we got there. So today's topic is the first president, Washington, and the shaping of the presidency. Previously, in the America 250 series, we had Mayor Pro Tem Amy Bartley bring us the story of the fight for ratification, the passionate national debate between the Federalists, who believed in a strong central government, and the Anti-Federalists, like Patrick Henry and George Mason, who feared the loss of individual freedoms. Delaware ratified first. New York and Virginia came close to breaking away in the end. The Constitution was saved by a crucial promise. A Bill of Rights would be added immediately. So with that new commitment made, the framework of a new government was now in place. Now came the most important question of all. Who could lead it first, and how? So, Washington arrived at the presidency with no model to follow. The Constitution created the office, but it did not tell him how to act, did not tell him how to staff it, or even how to make it work. Every decision he made was a first. He created the cabinet. He selected Thomas Jefferson as the Secretary of State, and Alexander Hamilton as his Secretary of the Treasury. He established the practice of advisors that every president has followed since the beginning. He insisted on being called simply Mr. President. He rejected the grander titles that some in Congress had suggested, which set a tone of Republican modesty after the grandeur of the royalty. So, one of Washington's most consequential decisions was placing Alexander Hamilton at the Treasury. Hamilton arrived with a bold and comprehensive vision for the nation's finances, one that would prove transformative. So later on, we will hear the full story of Hamilton's financial revolution in a dedicated episode that will be coming up. That one will be special because our Bob Scott's going to be the speaker for that one, so you won't want to miss it. But it's also worth noting here that Washington's trust in Hamilton and his willingness to back Hamilton's plans despite the fierce political opposition was in and itself an act of presidential courage that actually shaped the entire nation. So, Washington actually served 2 4-year terms. At the end of his second term, he was almost certainly going to be re-electable for a third. However, kings and military commanders throughout history had held power until they died. Washington chose to simply walk away. His voluntary retirement from power was perhaps the greatest act of statesmanship ever. It proved that the American presidency was not a throne, that power flowed from the people and it returned back to the same people. King George III of England, upon hearing that Washington planned to return to his farm at Mount Vernon, reportedly said, "If he does that, he may be the greatest man in the world." Well, Washington did, and he was. So here in Prosper, we're grateful for leaders who lead with humility, who remember that they serve the people, not the other way around. President Washington modeled that in everything he did. The character of the presidents he built still shapes our expectation of leaders today. So join us next week for episode 14, The Birth of Parties. Washington warned against political factions in his farewell address. Almost immediately after he left office, his own closest advisors, Hamilton and Jefferson, created them anyway. The story of how America's two-party tradition was born is one of the most fascinating in all of American history. So, once again, God bless you, God bless the town of Prosper, and may God continue to bless the United States of America. Thank you.